the truck, I feel like we're just going to have days of starting vlogs of us in the truck. We are headed to Port Edward this morning to the North Pacific Cannery where they used to can salmon. We thought we'd check it out. It's a National Historic Site and we're kind of into that sort of thing. Thankfully, I'm so glad the kids enjoy that type of thing. We're going to go wander around, see what we can find. We haven't been out this direction before and it's just a beautiful day. The sun is shining, which we're super thankful for because the weather seems to be very unpredictable. So let's go see what type of adventure we can find today. This end of the cannery is where the Japanese workers lived. So we kind of hung out until everybody cleared out. Tour is over and now we can go back through and see all the things that we didn't get enough time to see as we were doing the tour. The girls are in that building right there. So cute. Leaning out the window. Some of these are where maintenance people lived and other ones are for winter management that lived here. This one here with the cat house in the front, this one was where somebody who just came, a caretaker, would live in the winter. So all of the bigger houses, this was for a store manager, I believe, because it's right beside the store. They all got way better housing than any of the other people. Hi, Chickie.
Found metal and stuff under it.
This is the store manager's house. Would you want to sit on furniture like this? This doesn't actually look that old, some of this stuff.
I would sit on it, but I really don't want to.
Here's the bathroom. Little potty. I doubt that was the real toilet.
Aww.
And they actually had a fairly nice kitchen. And a balcony, and no more than 2 people, which is scary. I don't want to fall down there, do you? This one is much nicer than the other ones. You can see by the bathrooms. Just makes you realize how much work went into maintaining things to keep them from getting rusty, because that is very real. This kitchen is way nicer. Yeah, there's insulation. They even have a back room. What's back here? Laundry. And a refrigerator back here. And then this whole area is just so much nicer than any of the other houses. Ugh, look at the old radio. Kaden, did you see this? It's huge. And then the bigger bedroom in here, and I was looking at the radiator there. Something to just, or heater, I guess. This is the office. So many cool things. They're really old typewriters. Clancy says they had these in Kenya when they lived there. Of course, all of the huge maps and stuff would go in there. Hey, what a good idea. Look at the handles are the other way on these file boxes.
Yeah, it makes sense because you know,
right? Yeah. The old phone. All sorts of cool stuff in here, and this was just the business side of things. The old telephone in there. So this cannery was built in 1889 and it actually ran right into the 1970s where it then got shut down because other ones were a lot more economical and made more sense. Although the cannery in Prince Rupert, I believe she said, burnt down and they were given permission to open this one again for 1 more year. So lots and lots of history here. This has been really fun. It's really enjoyable to go and check things out and learn more about the places that you're from, and it's kind of cool because I was born and grew up in BC. So this is actually, so Clancy was born in BC too. This is our home province, but we actually live in the neighboring one of Alberta. So it's been really fun to explore this area. This is the furthest north that we've ever been before. So all of this has been such a cool adventure. These are compressors used in the refrigeration plant during the production of ice. Like, it's just all the equipment, which is so cool. And it was super cool to see all these belts whirring. Did you like that, Caden? That was pretty neat. You can see up there, that's where the cans would come down and roll around. This is filling and packing. We're kind of walking it backwards at the moment. Just the processes and seeing how they changed it, because actually when we did the tour, she actually brought us in over there, and that on that side is all the manual stuff, and then this is all of the automated stuff here. So we're just wandering back through again to see all the things that maybe we didn't have enough time to see. This is the automatic canning line. She's just started us up for us to be able to see, and it's running all the way down. It's really cool. Look at all those belts.
The fish also would have been sliced down the belly, and by the time it fell into this trough here, it would be pushed into the machine, and those brushes on the end would just clean out the entire underbelly of the salmon. So this machine could butcher roughly one fish every second, but it was so messy that the guy who was operating it would have worn a full drain suit just to keep as much blood off of it as possible.
So this is where the fish were butchered, and then they would come across. There's obviously some sort of big engine up in there. You see it. And then over here is where the machine would cut it up and can it. There's just so much that it's hard to even begin to capture, but this is for you, Dad. All of this up here, all this belting. You gotta come here one day. This is all once they automated the process.
Rubber insulation would melt around the inside of the ring. Thank you. Like I said, is the company store. Not only is it the company store, but it's also the barber shop. You'll see right there. The butcher store and the post office is in that back corner, so it's kind of a one-stop place. So you can get a little view of what it looks like from the top. Also, there's a little model train that you can see right through there as well.
This is the net loft.
So this area here would only have First Nations people working. And because it's up in the net loft, this would be a job for children.
This is only from
Alrighty. So the building that you guys are in right now is the First Nations net loft. So this building was actually built over in a neighboring town called Port Essington in the 1870s, and then brought over to our cannery in 1937. So this is where all of the net lived as well as the home
Old
itself.
stoves.
But everything
How
else
far have all the stuff in there?
They're showing you what it would look like.
New dishes.
What do you think?
No, these are not new.
Sorry, this stuff.
This is a First Nations home. Oh wow.
10 to 12 people live in
We're starting to lose our sunshine. Those clouds are starting to roll in, which it was supposed to rain while we're here, and I think we're gonna get it. And this boat, I'm gonna come back over here. This boat here has been fishing the whole time that we're here. He has a huge line out from his boat, and he motors up and then he throws it out, and then they just drift back down again. So that's all the automated down there, and then this comes back into, I kind of missed this part. This is where they would bring the fish. This is where Addie wanted to come and look again. And this is about what the salmon would look like. They do have an example, so here's my hand so you can see, like, for reference. Big salmon, so they would cut and gut and all of that Yep. Where do they go?
All the way down here.
And where does that go?
Until here.
Into the bottom, right down into the water. And this
And
was
they would
another
also
one.
throw the ducks in here.
This is where the fish went,
Oh.
in water, right? Yep. And then the fish were taken where?
Here. And they would get sliced and diced.
Dumped in here, and someone would be turning that wheel. So there they are, and then they would come up, and someone would work to turn this, and then the box would fill. Okay.
And then the kids, like 7, they got the easy job and they got to just like.
Do you see?
Over here, and then some people would can it.
Okay, so here's the cans. So the bins would get set here, and they'd all get put into the cans. That's a big one. These are the boats that the men went out and fished in. We missed this too. They're pretty cool. They would be gone for 6 days and back for 1. So here they would take the can and just push a lid onto it.
But like they didn't want to seal it.
Yep, not
They just
sealed
wanted
yet.
To make sure that you could bring it over here, and then somebody would turn this, and it would have liquid lead in here, and then it would like seal the can, the lid onto the can.
Exactly. Oh, and there, what was in there, Addison? The fire, right? And then they would take the can that was sealed, and
Pop a hole into it,
why did they do that?
so that it would let out all the air.
Okay. And then they would put lead on it. These were all sealed
they
with
would.
lead. So they would drop a drop of lead on it to seal it again. And then
They would bake it.
huge pressure canner, right?
Yeah.
Really, really hot. Both of these would fill up with cans. And then these are all the different labels that went on. And if you were a really well-known popular label, you charged more, even though it was all the same salmon, which is kind of crazy. And the girl told us that this is only about half of the different labels that went on these salmon cans. There is at least that many more. That was the majority of the tour, kind of. There was more to it, but I think I caught the rest of it. So we're just going back through, finding the things that we missed, and this is one of them. Who's running this boat? I think we'd all recommend the North Pacific Cannery. So if you ever come to Prince Rupert, be sure to check it out. Fantastic. Their staff is amazing, and there's so much cool history here that you just can't miss it. And now we're on to new adventures. Let's go see what else we can find to do. We are trying to figure out a place where we can actually get down to the ocean, because Prince Rupert is fully fenced between the railroad and all of that stuff. You can't actually get down to the water, so we need to go and find a place where we can maybe walk the beach a little bit.